Hey guys! Some of you may have seen my video about Scott CAWTHON, which I put up the other night. Well, this evening he has actually issued a response to all the accusations about where he gave his money and the candidates he was supporting and blah 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 and all the social media storm that's happened as a result of that. And shall we read through the response together? I've got some screen grabs here. They're not the best quality screen grabs, sorry about that. And I'll read them all out and let's see what he had to say. Here we go. My response and maybe last post. This message isn't specifically directed at the Reddit community. This is just the community that I care about the most, and where I choose to post these things. I never cared much for Twitter anyway. To say that the last few days have been surreal would be an understatement. I've debated greatly how best to address this, including not addressing it all. But with so many people from the LGBT community in the fan base that I love, that's not an option. I'd like to think that the last 7 years would have given me the benefit of the doubt in regards to how I treat people. But there I was, trending on Twitter for being a homophobe, getting doxxed with people threatening to come to my house. By me. My wife is 6 weeks pregnant and she spent last night in fear because of what was being said online. She has already been struggling with her pregnancy, so seeing her so afraid really scared me. Don't blame them. All this because I exercise my right and my duty as an American citizen to vote for and support the candidates who I felt could best run the country for everyone. And that's something I won't apologise for. It's very interesting because he's actually saying there, look, I have an opinion, and that's just my opinion. And he's allowed to have that opinion. For those who took the time to look, you saw that the candidates I supported included men, women, white people, black people, Republicans, and Democrats. I supported Kimberly Klalik, is that how you say it, in Baltimore, because I believed that she really cared for the African American community there and wanted to pull them out of poverty. I believe she could really make a difference in the time when so many black communities were struggling. She lost, unfortunately. I supported Tulsi Gabbard, a Democrat, even though I disagreed with her on several issues, because I felt she would have been a good and fair president. And yes, I supported President Trump, because I felt he was the best man to fuel a strong economy and stand up to America's enemies abroad, of which there are many. Even if there were candidates who had better things to say to the LGBT community directly and bigger promises to make, I believe that their stances on other issues would have ended up doing much greater harm to those communities than good. All of this explanation, I fear, is wasted, as people don't want to discuss with one another anymore. They want endless apologies and submission. People who are expecting those from me will get neither. There he's making a stand. He's saying, look, I'm not going to apologise, so if you're waiting for an apology from me, forget it. I've always been supportive of creators, and I've tried to treat everyone fairly and treat everyone with dignity and respect. I've never cared about anyone's race, religion, gender, or orientation. So he's basically saying there, look, I don't care what you believe, what the colour of your skin is, and what sexual orientation you are. I just don't care. And it's a fair point, because as a Christian, I'm not interested in someone's sexual orientation or anything. All I'm interested in is, hopefully, telling them, do you know where the eternal destination of your soul is? Because I hope, by meeting me, you will consider heaven rather than the opposite option. Let's carry on. I just treat people as people, everyone the same, and because of that, I've ended up with a very diverse group of people that I've worked with over the years. It wasn't intentional, it just happened that way. I chose people who were the best for the job. I treat everyone the same, and I ended up with people from all walks of life in my professional life and my personal life as well. That's the way it should be. That's the way I want it to be. That's the way it will continue to be. This next bit's very interesting. I'm a Republican, I'm a Christian, I'm pro-life, I believe in God. You know, those are quite powerful statements for people to make these days, and they shouldn't be. But they are. I mean, the Republican bit, a matter of opinion, because that's politics, but for him to say, I'm a Christian, I'm pro-life, I believe in God, well, good on him for making that stand. I'm a Christian too, I believe in God, and he has every right to say that, and I think that's great that he said that. He says, I also believe in equality, and in science, and in common sense. Despite what some may say, all of those things can go together, and he's right, they can. That's not an apology or promise to change. It's the way it's always been. Again, correct. If I get cancelled, then I get cancelled. I don't do this for the money anymore. I do it because I enjoy it. If people think I'm doing more harm than good now, then maybe it's better that I get cancelled and retire. I would accept that. I've had a fulfilling career. Besides, most things that people can take from you are the things that never had much value to begin with. I've always loved and will continue to love this community and this fan base, even if someday it doesn't include me anymore. Now, personally, I think that's a pretty good response to the situation. I think he's been very clear about what he believes, and he's been very clear that he's not prepared to kind of budge on this, and that he has done nothing wrong. And I really think this is a case of a lost cause for the people who are against Scott. I just think you're really wasting your time. The guy is obviously not homophobic, he's not transphobic, he's not anti the LGBTQ community. He's been perfectly honest about the fact that he's worked with all kinds of people, he still works with all kinds of people, and he treats everyone the same. And I think in any human being, that's one of the best things you can hope for, that they are a person who treats everyone equally. And that's great. So I think this is a good statement. I don't think there's anything wrong in what he said. I think he is entitled, as we all are, to his opinion, to his beliefs, and as a Christian I'm going to defend him as well. And I just think, good on him for saying all these things, and good on him for making a stand. And I think those of you who are against him, you're just wasting your time, because I just think that the man is obviously not the kind of nasty villain that you think he is. So I think we should all kind of just cut him some slack and just let him get on with his job, let him get on with his life. And just kind of, I think this is a pointless fruit. If he had something genuine against him, if he'd actually come out and said something horrible against that community, against gay people, against trans people, then I would say, okay, there's an issue here. Because even if a Christian doesn't believe something, i.e. that they believe something is wrong because of what they've read in the Bible, that doesn't mean you go out and hate someone because of what they're doing, because what they're doing may disagree with what you've read or what you believe. You don't hate them for it. That's not the Christian way. Some may think it is, but they're wrong. You have to walk in love towards everyone. So I just think this man is obviously not the villain people are painting him out to be. So I think it's time they moved on and found someone else. There's always someone else. There's always a real villain lurking somewhere. It seems every week someone's outed as a racist or a rapist. So hey, just wait a few days. A real villain will come along and you can drag them. But I don't think Scott is that person. If you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. And we'll discuss. Thanks for watching. Bye.